Welcome all, Raymond here for Stream Gamers, a comparison video between 2024 or Microsoft 2024 and Microsoft 2020. So we can see kind of the scenery. We're in summertime. October 12th is the time, but I've put it to summer-like conditions so that we're not seeing the snow and so forth. And you can see kind of the right-hand side is Microsoft 2020, the left-hand side is 2024. I'm going to apologize. This is my first side-by-side video. I've attempted to try to get them close, and some areas I have, and some areas it's kind of spread a little further away. But in general, I hope that you will get the idea. This is my first go at it, so I will almost guaranteed will get better at it. And so you can see, once we bring the camera up here a little bit on the Microsoft 2020 side, you can see kind of a comparison. We're more or less facing in the same direction, both sides. And so you can see some of the scenery. We're a little closer on 2024 side as opposed to 2020, but you can see some of the scenery that is where the difference is. Now, I'm not so much worried about the different type of scenery. I'm more concerned or questioning the quality of that scenery. I will point out some of the inaccuracies from one to the next as we go through. But just look at the quality. I mean, look at the trees on 2024. They're very nicely laid out. Whether they're accurate or not, that's irrelevant to me. They're nicely laid out. As opposed to the 2020 side, they look more like shrubs and so forth. You know, maybe the shrubs are more accurate. I don't know, because I've never been to this part of New Zealand. That leads me to, we are in New Zealand. We're at Milford Sound, and we're flying from Milford Sound to Martins Bay. So that's our flight that we're going to fly today. If you wouldn't mind, a like, comment, subscribe would help me a long way to pushing the video out and getting it to in front of more and more people. You know, the whole algorithm scenario that we've all heard a million times. Anyways, I would greatly appreciate that. If you discover that you'd like to see other comparison videos, I do have Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 Alpha Edition from other places in the world, from around JFK, from around Vancouver in British Columbia, in Alberta, in the UK, and I believe I have some footage from around Japan, somewhere in Japan. So by all means, if you wish to have another one of these comparisons from somewhere else in the world, please let me know. All right, here we go. One thing that strikes me is on the right side as opposed to the left side, look at the mountains and what they look like. They obviously look different. I've seen those mountains in 2020, and when you get closer up to them, they look very washed out. These ones on the 2024 side don't. On the 2020 side, in my mind, right or wrong, but in my mind, it seems awkward or seems odd that the greenery would go that high up the mountains. I could be wrong about that. It just seems very odd. The trees and greenery would go up like that steep rock face like that. If somebody's from New Zealand and knows the scenery well, please put it in the comment section that's an accurate depiction. Either one is an accurate depiction. But it seems to me on the left side, the scenery is a little nicer. We're getting these weird kind of tree-like things, or different kind of tree-like shrubbery things on the right-hand side. Is that accurate? Left-hand side, you can see there's no big hill, as opposed to the right-hand side. There was a big hill there. That's more about the differences between one scenery or not. We don't know when one is accurate. But look at the view we're looking out there on the left side as opposed to the right side, and the quality of the imagery. It's to me, 2024 is so far a clear leader for me. That's just my personal view on this, but it is a clear leader for me in the quality of the scenery. Now, don't get me wrong, I think 2020 has surprised me how good it is in comparison, because it's pretty good. It just doesn't have that same wow. We are coming upon our departure, And my 2024 departure wasn't spectacular, nor was my 2020. But here we go, up in the wild blue. So in 2024, on the left-hand side, you can see there's some terraforming white stuff taking place there. It's weird. And on the 2020 side, we don't get any of that. So I don't know if it's my computer that's caused that. I don't know if it's a specific circumstance that caused that I'm in control of. I don't know. I just know that on the 2020 side, that part of the scenery looked pretty good. When we look at here, 2020 looks pretty good. I mean, 2024 looks not bad as well. It's just, I think it's the greenery that's kind of putting me off in the quality of it. So anyways, they both look, in my mind, good, just different imagery. We're going to take a behind us look shot here shortly, and we're going to see what that comparison looks like here shortly. Hopefully, we're beginning a turn, I think. Yeah. Come on now. There we go. I think we're close to seeing. So 2024, we'll look at the outside reverse look at it. Again, I think they both look good. My taste, 2024 looks better, but I think they both look good. Here we got some water tearing. Now, here's something to look at in terms of what the sides of the banks look like. It's to me, 2020, that bank on the left-hand side in 2020 looks a little washed out, looks a little stretched and washed out, whereas in 2024, it doesn't look that way so much. It looks better. It's not, I don't think it's perfect by any stretch, but it looks better to my eye. And again, these are my feelings, my opinions, my thoughts. They aren't necessarily accurate. They're just mine. Specs. Let's get that out just so that everybody understands. Ryzen 7 5800 X3D processor, 32 gigs DDR RAM, and an RTX 4080 graphics card. I'll put the specs down in the comment section. I've been releasing what my specs are on a semi-regular basis because I have been in the comment section. I have been told that I haven't done that. And potentially I should do it more frequently. So I'm attempting to do that, but I'm also attempting to add in the comment section a little bit, that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think right here, I think the view looks pretty good. But again, on the 2020 side, it looks a little washed out there along I'm bobbing around, but there, it looks a little washed out. Here I had some problems with my controller for some reason or other. My centering button always wanted to put me on the co-pilot side. So from here on in, we're going to have a little bit of problems with that. I'm going to attempt not to have, do too much bouncing around, but I'm going to get a little bit of it. Now we're going to depart here, or we're going to leave here, and we're going to turn. Here I can see on the left-hand side, the 2024 side, you get a little patch of stretched out looking scenery there, whereas in 2020 you don't have that. So, there's a nod there for 2020. That part looks better in 2020. I think from here forward, I think we're going to discover that the scenery is probably more a matter of preference, what you think looks better or what you don't think looks better. There's going to be, as we get closer to the arriving airstrip, Martins Bay, we're going to talk about that a little bit. So for those that are watching this and kind of don't want to miss anything but want to get closer to the end, I think you might be able to just fast forward yourself and get closer toward the end, but don't miss the approach and the landing and that part, because there's more additional conversation to be had there as well. We have a couple of sections right here that I think are a little, maybe marginally better on the 2024 side for my tastes. Although I wish I had lifted my camera up a little bit more in 2020 so we could actually see some of the shoreline, or taking an outside view as well. I didn't, because in the 2024 I didn't go outside, and I thought, well, in 2020 I could, but I didn't. Now, keep in mind, I'm recording this video today, and the date today is the 3rd of November, and I did the 2024 video in October 16th, I think it was, so about a month ago. So I couldn't re-record the 2024 because the alpha is no longer here anymore. That being said, let me clarify, this is 2024 alpha. This is not the 2024 release. So those that are watching this beyond the release date, don't get it confused. I'll also make note of that in the comment section as well, because I should have said that in the beginning of the video. I may actually change the note there to say 2024 alpha. Right, so here you could, if you were so inclined, but here I'm going to talk more about performance a little bit. We have a little bit of time before we get to the approach. In my previous videos about 2024, I've talked about performance gains, lack thereof stutters, and frame rates. So you don't see it here, but the reality is that the average frame rates on Microsoft 2020 versus Microsoft 2024 Alpha Edition, leaving Milford Sound, I did not see any notable differences in frame rates between one sim versus the other. Now, could that have been, one was 3% higher or 3 frames higher than the other? Absolutely, that's a possibility. The frame rates are constantly juggling and moving around. So I didn't notice that. But what I did notice in terms of performance, Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 is smoother. It's with less. Sometimes there's a bit of a jerky choppiness there. It's not stutters, but it's a little choppy for me in 2020. And 2024, not here, but when we were there in the sim, getting ready to take off, I cut that footage out, but there was a couple of choppy things happening there. They were kind of blurry-ish, choppy. They're just very brief moments in time, but they were there. Whereas in Microsoft Flight Sim 2024, I didn't have any of that. There was a couple points in time where maybe the frame rates were even higher in 2020 than they were in 2024. Again, marginally, but that could have been. Now, I have said that I had seen improved frame rates. So the last thing that I'm thinking about here is we're actually in an environment where I have my frame rates capped at 150, 155, I think. And so we're in an environment where I'm pretty much running the cap all the time. There isn't much demand here. And so that might be the excuse to do a side-by-side for, let's say, at New York or Chicago or, that kind of stuff. By the way, I have some footage from Chicago, too, now that I think about it. But that might be an opportunity to do a side-by-side in Chicago area as well, because I have that footage and I could maybe do a comparison where it's maybe a little more taxing on the system. And then we might see more of the frame chain or the frame gain or loss between the two sims. It's an exercise that I might attempt to do. Anyways, we are probably really close. I can see the other airport that I did fly to in a different series, and I think just probably about 5 miles up and slightly over to the right side is Martins Bay. So we'll be on our approach here momentarily. Yeah, and so so right here is a good example too. Look at how green things are in 2020. as opposed to 2024, they don't seem as green. I don't know the accuracy of that either. It seems more hazy now in 2024. Is it more hazy in 2024 because I didn't have the weather set quite right? So just be careful when you're looking at this, and if you're kind of judging it based on that, I didn't have the exact scenery sets for both. I mean, sorry, weather sets for both. I attempted to get it as close as I could, but I can see in the 2024 it's a little hazier than it is in 2020, and that could explain the reason why, you know, it's a little more green. And we're also a little closer to the trees than we are in 2024. So these are some of the factors that could explain some of the differences. And I'm sure that has something to do with it. And we'll see. You know what? Once 2024 is full release out there, I'll probably do another side-by-side comparison video, but I'll do it in the same day, right? So I'll have the same weather set. I'll have the same thing. I'll be able to retake if I need to retake because something wasn't right. You know, I'm not stuck with having a set of video that I have no choice. I have to work with. That is the video that I have right now. That's the only video of 2024 I have coming here. So I can't retake. I want to express a thanks to all of my subscribers. I greatly appreciate all of you that have subscribed. The channel is starting to grow, and I'm very, very appreciative and thankful to you, all of you that have watched the videos, subscribed to the videos. A higher percentage of subscriptions would be nice, but let's not quibble over it. I appreciate all of you guys out there watching my content and liking, commenting, and subscribing, and continue to do that, please. So here is our approach coming in. I looked at this a couple of times, and I don't see if there's a huge notable difference. That's to say that one is by far a better quality. There's differences, no less. And if anybody throughout the video can see something and want to point it out and say, hey, you know, at this juncture on the video, this was the scene, and I saw that, by all means, put it down in the comment section. One thing that I can tell you right now, look at the approach of the airport. 2020, it's just a very narrow entranceway into the airstrip, whereas 2024 is a much wider entranceway into the airstrip. Whether it's right that way or not, again, I don't know. I feel like it would be more accurate to have a much wider entry into the airstrip instead of this very narrow, potentially hit a tree kind of a thing. So to me, it feels like 2024 has done a better job of that. And that is actually something that you will see amongst a lot of airports as you're flying around in them in 2024. I think they've done a better job. Here we come in. Yeah, I just think 2024, the approach is better. It's easier. The trees are less intrusive. You see how the trees right now, I'm having to kind of come through the trees. Now, I am a little lower than what I'd like to be, but still. Oh yeah, for those that noticed my panels went out, why somehow the power went out on the panels. I pushed the wrong button or whatever, but in 2020, the runway is gravel kind of whatever, whereas 2024, the runway is I think concrete or something, asphalt or whatever, something like that effect. I don't know what the difference is, right, wrong, or other, but you see the aircraft that are parked along the side. It feels like there's more to it. So yeah, so this gets us to the end of the video. Tell me what your thoughts are. Give us the thoughts in the comment section. Do you want more of this stuff? Should we do more of it? Give me ideas how I can improve upon these things like side-by-sides or any videos for that matter. Raymond for Stream Gamers, I appreciate you all and your subscriptions and views and likes and all that. wonderful. I appreciate it all. You guys have yourself a wonderful day, week, evening. Be kind, enjoy life, have fun, play some games, and all that wonderful stuff. Until the next one, this is Raymond for Stream Gamers. Thank you very much.